get started here. This is the August.
Craig, your audio is in and out. There's something not connecting.
Okay, sorry. Let me experiment here with my settings. Is this any better?
Yes.
Oh, okay, there we go. I have a condensing mic here that should take care of the sound issues. It's just a matter of knowing which button to hit. So to start over, this is the August meeting of the Village of Fayetteville Historic Preservation Commission. I am Craig Polhamus. We have a short but important agenda this evening. Since our applicant isn't in yet, I'm going to take the prerogative to move to the meeting minutes of June 10th and June 18th. Everyone should have received a copy of that via email. I have my hard copy here. Are there any obvious corrections or changes that were noted by any of the members of the commission?
No. Hi, Craig.
Hello.
Hi, it's Liz. Sorry. I just saw that the applicant actually is chatting in here, saying that they're on the meeting, but we aren't able to hear them.
Okay, yeah, I'd have to let them in. I didn't realize they had signed in. I hadn't checked the list again.
Oh, okay.
Sorry to destroy the flow here.
Yep, why don't we just finish up this, the meeting minutes while we're in the process of that. I didn't hear any corrections. Do I have a motion to accept the, we'll do this in order, June 10th meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Yep, so Nikki made the motion, Liz second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, motion by saying aye. Or
Aye.
hand
Aye.
motion, okay. Any opposed? None noted. So therefore, the June 10th meeting minutes pass. I'm getting a call from Pam Bender. If you don't mind the interruption, let me
I
answer.
sent her a link as she requested. I don't, tell her to use the attendee link then and I can bounce her up.
Yep. Pam, do you have the attendee link that Karen just sent you?
All I got was to do with the Board of Trustees agenda.
Oh,
No, there was another email after that.
From my sister-in-law and a whole bunch of junk mail, and something from Craig. And
Well,
no, absolutely not. I did not get it.
All right, I will send you yet a different link.
I can do the same, and hopefully you'll get one of ours.
It was August.
I just sent her the link. Right.
Oh, you did? Okay. So you should have that then. I'm going to discard mine. Okay.
All right, so as soon as if you want to review the,
I did get that one. Yes. Okay.
Okay, so we'll wait a second for you to bounce in.
Oh, and actually, it's a registration. So okay, what do I have to do? I just fill my name out. Okay.
yeah, yes, if you didn't get the original one, this is just as if you're an attendee and then I can connect you.
I don't know if you got that, but Karen has the power.
Okay.
So while you're doing that, we just,
Oh, I'm there. I hear you.
okay, Karen, if you can let her in.
Yep, already done.
Perfect. Okay, welcome, Pam. So next item, just so we don't forget, is the meeting minutes from June 18th. Everyone should have gotten a copy. No corrections were noted. So do I have a motion to accept the meeting minutes from June 18th?
I'll motion.
Okay, Liz, thank you. And is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Nikki was second. Any further discussion? If none, all in favor, raise their hand, say aye. Okay. Any opposed? None
Hello,
noted. Pam?
hello. Can you hear? I'm sorry, you couldn't hear me.
To do with the minutes, it was referred to as steeples on the house, on the corner of Academy and Genesee, and it's actually a stepped gable, is what it's called.
Okay, steeples was the word used during the meeting. I
Right.
can put that in parentheses. Okay.
Okay,
Yes,
That was in the 18th meeting, correct?
yes, that's correct, and I'm sorry, anyways, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
okay. Is everyone in favor of the modification to use stepped gable with steeples in parentheses so there's no confusion?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, so I think the motion is still, oh, we didn't vote yet. All in favor was aye,
Aye.
okay? And any against? None, so motion passes. Both meeting minutes are accepted and can be entered into the record.
All right, Tom, thank you for your patience. I'm gonna set it up so that he can
Yep, so
talk and present to you.
our next agenda item is 315 East Genesee Street, windows and doors. Everyone should have received a packet in the mail with the application.
Yes.
I have mine in front of me. Tom, you're on board here?
Okay,
Would you like to walk us through and explain what it is you're trying to accomplish here?
we're getting to the point that we're going to be replacing the front entrance door on the Genesee Street side and the entrance door on the Academy Street side, along with windows. The windows and doors are going to be done over a period of time. So we're looking for approval now so that as our contractor is available and our inventory of windows and doors become available, he can come and uninstall and reinstall.
Understood?
So I think everyone saw these pictures.
Yep. Yeah. So as I understand it, the doors that are presently there are a solid wood door that
Yes.
may or may not be historic, probably not the original door.
No.
Okay. I kind of concur with that, having looked at various doors through the village. And what you're looking to replace it with, as I understand it, would be a classic craft door with several lights in it.
There it is right there, yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, exactly. Okay. Now, the illustration shown there versus the, I guess you would say photoshopped photo. I take it that the photo, the corrected photo showing the proposed is really the look of the new door. Is that correct?
You have to go back. It's the door with the full glass and the two side lights is what we're actually looking at.
Yep,
Oops, that one right there, right?
yeah,
No, well, not that particular door. That's just conceptual.
Okay, this one here, you mean?
Yes,
Okay.
that's what we're looking at. In black.
Is that going to fit within the same opening that there is right now? Or will you have to change the size of the opening?
It will fit into the same opening because it is custom.
Okay.
okay. So just to be clear, when you look at the front, the photo of the front, we have the very ornate woodwork that surrounds the door, the pilaster columns, the shaped header across both side lights and door. That's all going to remain, correct?
If it, I don't want it to. But if it, when we get ready to put the porch roof over the top and put the porch the way it was, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. If you're looking to keep that the way it is, then it's all going to have to be rebuilt because it's rotted out. It'll all be replaced with a material that won't rot, like fiberglass pilasters and the trim.
So, I apologize for my confusion here, but you're talking about down the road, you want to build a porch over this entrance so that there's a sheltered area in front of the door?
Yes,
Okay, but we don't have the detail on that. Wouldn't that protect the existing woodwork and elements that could possibly be restored?
possibly. But the porch is opened. It's not an enclosed porch. It's opened
Right.
all the way around. It's just a roof over the top.
Okay.
Karen would have to go back to the old pictures that we had.
If you go back one, Karen, you would show the existing situation, which is a solid door and two side lights. So the
Okay,
intent would be not the next image, but really the illustration of the door, which shows a full light. That's where my confusion is.
so this exactly would replace all of this. Is that what you're telling them, Tom?
That's what my goal would be.
Okay, so I apologize. My confusion was if you skipped ahead, Karen, there was the illustration of the existing door where it was kind of photoshopped, where it would be clear elements. Move ahead a few more. Unless this is a separate door, yeah, sure you can
That's
see.
an inside view.
That's the inside view.
Right, so that it wouldn't be three lights, it would be one large light, not like it's illustrated here.
Right.
Okay, and it would be the same for the other entrance,
Yes.
east
If you,
entrance?
no, that's just a copy of the inside door. That door right there, that has a storm door on it.
Yeah, we can see that.
The door is black, I believe, with an arch window at the top. I think there's a picture in here, Karen, of the original door. Maybe not. There it
Oh,
is.
there we go. Yeah,
That's on the inside. But that door would match exactly the front door.
okay. Then it
So
wouldn't be that, it would be more of the illustration you show of the thermal true door.
yes, if you go back to the
Okay.
illustration of the Therma-Tru, it would be the center door without
Like
the
that.
side lights and the top light, and in black.
Okay. Yeah, I think, color is one aspect of it. I'd like to open it up to the board if they have any comments on this, now that at least I understand what is being proposed.
Yeah, I have a few things to talk about. Basically, all to do with historic preservation is to retain this historic character. And back when that house was built in 1830, it would have been a plain and simple panel door could have had lights, window lights on the side, as you already have, and a light above. But it would never had a full length ornamental window inside the door. So I just am concerned about that it will lose its historical character, integrity, and to do with removing any of the woodwork that is surrounding that. It's always great if we can preserve the elements, and if you're going to be putting a roof over it, that will really protect it from the water just coming straight down on it.
If we put a roof over it, it's going to limit the light that comes in the front of the house. The idea of putting a glass panel in the center of the door, the side lights and the top light, is to allow more light to enter into the house. Uh, putting a full solid door will only limit the light that comes in, and then to put a covered porch on it's even going to limit the light more.
So again, just to clarify, Tom, you're not talking about a covered porch, but like an open deck? Is your vision?
When I'm looking at the historical pictures now, it's a covered porch, and the
Was that included in the packet?
not this packet, but in the previous meeting. I'm looking
Karen,
at
would
historical
it be possible
pictures.
to pull that up? Because I think it's going to be important to our consideration here.
Yeah.
What things looked like back in the day.
Okay,
And in one of the houses down the street from us, that's a historical home, has twin full glass doors as the entrance.
I think I know the house you're talking about. But, yeah. So Karen, is it possible to blow that up as much as
that's the
possible,
picture.
focusing on the porch? Because it may not be clear what the door configuration was, but at least we can get an idea for what the porch may have been might have looked like.
uh,
I mean, all I see is a black line, is a black rectangle as far as the door. I
Yep.
can't tell if there's glass or not in it.
Yeah. Are there any other photos that are of that vintage or close to it?
no,
Yeah, that shows after the porch was removed, and so does that. Um, it's actually very similar to my own porch, which I've worked on personally, so I kind of know the configuration of the two side lights, which leak like a sieve for me, and the solid door in the center. So, again, commission members, would you like to kind of weigh in on this? I am confused though, Tom, if you're looking to recreate that porch or something different with your consideration of trying to get natural light in.
Well, I'm looking to try to recreate the porch to the best of my ability and as close as we can, because this picture really doesn't, it's not a close-up picture. But in working with our architectural engineers, I'm certain they could design something that is real close to what that is.
Yes, I think you have enough there for the porch that you could actually duplicate from what we can see in the picture. I mean, it's better than not having anything for sure. So, and then you can sort of figure out the dimensions in a way by just looking at the dimensions of the house versus how big the porch is. So I don't think that should be too difficult for you to do.
No, it won't.
I just, maybe someone can enlighten me on federal style front doors, because like I said, I'd like to keep the integrity of that's why we have a historic district. And I just, if someone can explain to me any different about full glass in the door, especially being so ornate, the research that I've done does not even begin to go there until maybe like 1900 something.
I think there might have been glazing on an older door, but not to the extent that's proposed. And it would certainly hurt the character of the building to lose the existing casing
Woodwork.
for the
Right.
door. Yeah,
I
all
agree.
the period transom and the period side lights, that would significantly alter the look of the building. If
I
there's a way
agree.
with that.
Yeah. What I find in some of my information is that, an elliptical fan light was typical, and slender side lights
Right.
with, typically a solid door. So it's, I tend to agree with you, Pam, that a full, large light door like the Thermo-Tru cut sheet that was submitted is probably not in keeping with the federal style. I would personally consider something that had multiple lights in it, like the illustration that was included in the packet. Uh, that might be something I would personally consider. But to have a single large light, I think would really move away from the, the the character of the federal style.
So you're saying what's shown on the screen is more to your taste or to the,
That would be more to my liking. Um, it would accomplish your goal of trying to get more natural light into the building, but it wouldn't necessarily be the one large light, which is really a very modern technique. It's almost like a mid-century modern element, and I
In
think it
this,
kind of stand out.
sorry,
Go ahead, Pam.
in this picture that we're looking at now, proposed entry, I don't see don't you have a window panel or, yeah, window panel on each side of that door right now?
that's the academy side picture. That's
Oh,
we're
that's
looking
what
at.
was throwing me.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're getting confused
Oh,
here a little
okay,
bit between
all
the
right.
entrances.
Okay, all right.
And the,
So
yeah,
what you're
the-
saying, it's something like that instead of a full panel.
Yeah,
For
and-
myself,
yeah.
I would, yes, say yes. I don't know how the other commission members feel about something like this as a compromise.
Well,
Yeah, I think that the three light configuration would be good. I think the most important part though is finding a way to keep the side and the transom lights and the existing woodwork, if
Yeah.
possible.
and
Well,
maybe
that's not gonna, that's just not gonna happen. That's all gotta come out and be completely rebuilt. None of that's gonna be existing. That's just, it's rotted because of the weather. So that's all gonna come out and be completely rebuilt.
Have you thought about, Tom, there's epoxy paste that can be applied to stabilize ornate elements like that?
If I go through to try to maintain that, in another 2 years, I'm gonna rip it out and put it new in. And we're gonna be back where we started from. The whole sill, the entrance sill is rotted.
That I would imagine would be.
You know,
since
I mean,
that got most of the weather.
first of all, when they built the porch, you know, if it was covered and this is the original cement, which I don't believe it is, it goes right up to the door. And modern building code is that it has to be at least 7-8 inches below the step of the door so that snow and rain can't build up and hit that threshold that's right there. And that's a deep threshold.
It's not required by code, because you do have accessible entrances where it's essentially flush. But many times I've found in my own profession where the sill plate has to be replaced, but the rest of the trim can be salvaged or restored. I personally would probably want to take a closer look at the extent of damage, because you have some really ornate and highly sculptural elements as part of that entrance.
That's correct, we do. And you know, we just spent $1,000 on copying the crown molding that we took off of the roof with the drip edge, and to get it exact. I had a special knife made at a mill, which I now own for that crown molding that's 5/4 thick.
right.
So if I have to rebuild this, it's going to be real close, within 1/16 of inches to be, you know, to be the same.
Right. And in that vein, that's a replacement in kind that wouldn't require even a certificate of appropriateness. So,
Well, but it wouldn't have to be the same materials. You can't just necessarily rebuild it with plastic. So, I mean, what do you mean by that, Craig?
Well, what I mean by that is if there's a area that's damaged, you can use some of these epoxy methods to patch and restore very localized damage. In my own porch, I had to replace the bottom plinth that supported the ornate woodwork, and did that in a vinyl carpentry. Nobody has really noticed, only because it's dimensionally identical to what was there. So it can be done. The intent would be to replicate exactly what's there. If the damage is extensive, then we may have to look at that closer. But that would be my own personal preference, to try to work with what's there and replace elements separately. Like the side lights could be separately replaced from the door element, and instead of trying to blow everything out and put in a single unit. Because I think you would lose a lot if those, for example, the columns between the side light and the doors were removed or, taken out. So personally, I would oppose putting in a single unit, but to restore what's there, I fully support. And again, it's not just me, it's the commission, so I'm more than open to hear alternative commentary and ideas of how we can progress from here.
Well, it might be a good idea if we actually took a look at it up close, being that he would like to do more changes than maybe we are thinking historically should be done. Number one. Number two, if we do allow the 3 lights in the door, or if we do feel that that's historically appropriate, I'm looking at a picture right now where the 2 vertical panes don't go all the way down to the threshold. They just end about a third away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if from the pictures that you showed us, Tom, you wanted full glass panels. Well, you wanted 1 glass panel, but if we felt that it was appropriate, what length glass panels, 2 of them, the dual ones there, would they be?
Do you see the picture that you're looking at now?
Yes.
All right. That's our conceptual design. That's our choice. That's what we wanted. And the full glass panel that you were looking at is the manufacturer that we're choosing to build the door.
Okay. So what I'm looking at right now, even the glass on the sides there would stay that.
No, I'd want to replace the glass on the sides because it's cracked.
And how long would those be?
We could have those the same as those, or we could have them go all the way to the floor.
And then they would be leaded. Was that leaded, the design, was that leaded glass, or was that some type of design that's in between the window, or?
I don't know. I'm not a full-blown glass,
Right.
but
But
this,
you do like the ornate. You're not thinking just something a little simpler, or?
no, I like the ornate. You can see how ornate the glass is with the design embedded in the glass. Yeah,
Is there a design on the glass now, or is it just?
Yes, there's scrolling in the glass on the top and the 2 side lights.
Okay, but this is more ornate, this picture that I'm looking at, this new, than the original?
Most likely it is.
Okay. And you're saying that those can't be preserved because they're cracked, you said?
Glass is cracked.
You can see
And all
some
the
deal.
glazing is coming apart and breaking off.
Yeah, Karen, if you advance about 3 slides or 3 pages, you'll be able to see the, yeah, there. And if you blow it up, maybe one more, advance one more. There's a little close up of the door. If you go advance one more page, there we go. Now we can see what's there in terms of the detailing in the side lights, which almost looks like it's a leaded or caned glass.
It probably is leaded.
Does Therma-Tru make, I mean, you said custom, but do they make a door leaf with that provincial light type style? Is it available?
I
Or
believe
just the
so,
full light?
yes. Yes. It's gonna cost a lot more money to have it custom made, but it's doable.
As opposed to the full light in the.
Opposed to a standard manufactured full light.
Okay,
Yeah, if we go to the last page in the packet, it actually shows the classic craft door as a half light, for example.
yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go all the way to the end.
That is the end.
Oh,
No,
This one?
different packet.
it's
Yes,
a cut sheet. There you go.
yeah, so that's a half light.
With the provincial panels below.
Mm-hmm.
There's that option too.
So to be clear, what you ideally wanted was a full light. What we show as an illustration as far as a goal was the multi-light replacement door that it's not available in this manufacturer. And then in between that would be the half light that is part of the manufacturer's standard offering. Is that kind of correct? As you see it, Tom?
The half light that you see here,
Yeah,
okay, that's standard for the manufacturer, yes.
okay.
But you know, if you go back to the conceptual look that was drawn, a couple more backwards, Karen. Yeah, one more, yeah, right there.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go with that look.
Okay. Yeah, you could probably achieve that, but maybe not with their standard offering. And you may have to go to an alternate manufacturer. I do know that some custom door manufacturers can easily accomplish this. One that I saw similar to this in the factory was Marvin. Marvin can, claims they can make anything that can be drawn.
That's where our windows are coming from, are from Marvin.
Yeah, so since you're looking at Marvin, which I concur as a quality manufacturer, I would suggest showing this to them and finding out what they would be able to provide. And again, I can't speak for the entire board, but I kind of get the consensus. I know, Pam, you're pointing toward this, that something like this would be more agreeable than the standard offering that we had seen. Is that?
That's
Yeah,
correct on my end. I do question the two side panels with the lead cane design. I'd hate to see that go. I didn't see where it's cracked. I believe you that it's cracked someplace. Is it cracked enough that you think it's going to?
It'll break when I take it out.
Yeah.
I'm
Now,
sorry.
It will break when I remove it. It's cracked right across the center. I think I can show it to you.
this is one way to do it. This is something we couldn't do in person.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Is there just one defect is it on the other side the same way? Is it cracked in the other panel? Well, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
Tom, have you explored the possibility of getting there's several very reputable stained glass artisans
Yes,
that
there
would
is.
probably be able to make short work of restoring that at probably a lower cost point than a replacement.
Well, the one I used to know uh, in Canastota, who was a significant artist in this and has done work for me in the past because I've restored another home in Canastota. He's ill with cancer or on his last legs or has
Oh,
passed away.
is that the one in going out from Chittenango, Sullivan Studios?
No, this is a gentleman in Canastota that owned Madison Glass.
Oh, okay. Not familiar with them. Um,
Yes, there is Sullivan Studio in Chittenango, and there's also Brennan's if he's still in business. He has restored cathedral stained glass windows in the churches, and I think he goes nationally.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. There's some international figures that we just happen to have local, which are quite a resource. Um,
those are beautiful aspects of your home, and historically just beautiful. It would be wonderful if somehow they could be preserved.
I would even go so far as to consider asking them if they could do the modifications to the door to match the side lights and really have a first class,
Hmm.
custom doorway. And it may not be as maintenance free as going with the Therma-Tru, but it certainly would be a showpiece. It seems to me that the consensus is to not pursue the single light approach and to maybe explore other alternatives. Um, am I correct in kind of assuming that's the direction the board would like to see?
Yes.
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 Okay. It's always awkward to say that, your initial idea is not passing muster, Tom, but you really have a beautiful doorway there, and it would be a shame to lose the beauty of what you already have. So could we encourage you to maybe explore some of these other options that we discussed?
I think what I'm going to do is just table this for a while. And I've got enough on my hands with trying to button up the roof and seal up the rest of the house. And I'll look into this more through the winter before I come to the table again.
Yep. From my own personal experience, I have a cracked side light, and I ended up putting a film on the inside just to kind of cut down on the loss. That's helped, but again, it's a short-term approach. So I commend you with thinking of a long-term solution. And if you would like, we would be more than happy to take a closer look at the woodwork there and maybe offer some options to replace in kind versus a full replacement.
I think I'm going to have the architectural engineer that we've been working with come over and take a look at it.
Okay.
And see what he has to offer.
Okay.
Sounds
I can
good.
also offer that both Pam and myself has had historic doors that have been reworked. Pam, yours won an award at the fair. The stained glass that was applied as a
Right.
reinterpretation and replacement of what was discovered. So
Yes, I don't know if you know, Tom, but our stained glass window on our door, we have panels below and then the stained glass configuration above. When we bought it, not most, but a lot of the glass was missing or broken. And Malcolm loved the door so much and wanted to keep the historic character and, you know, just keep it. That we bought a kiln and actually made those tiles when actually Corning Glassworks told us that it wasn't possible. It took us a year. It took us a lot of trial and error, but we did it. And we are so glad we did, because we unfortunately don't have a lot of original attributes in the house. It was gutted for 7 apartments. And when I look at the door, I'm just so happy that we were able to restore it the way we did.
Yeah, and I concur. It's a fabulous door. Doorways are probably the most important element in a building, so it deserves extra attention and consideration, at least in my opinion. I commend you in thinking, long term and exploring different options. I also want to commend the work that's already been done. The replacement of the missing element in the stepped gable and the brickwork, I can see having passed by several times in the past month, has just been very nicely accomplished. So I want to commend you on a job that's really progressing well. And replication of the historic elements, I think, are going to be appreciated for years to come. So my hat's off to you. It's not something that the typical person is willing to take on, but I think you can see the rewards of a job well done. Up above the chimney restoration and the removal that we looked at last time, I think was a good decision and seems to be working out very well. Is there anything else, Tom, that you want to review at this point?
What about the windows, Tom?
Yeah, we haven't touched on the windows yet.
Yep. Why don't we talk about that a little bit? Again, I want to be clear what the intent is here. If we're replacing the windows with the same mullion patterns that exist now, or if there wants to be certain windows that you want to make modifications to. Previous window applications we've looked at almost on a window by window basis and allowed changes where it made sense. So, well, let me not speak for you and let you kind of present what your thoughts are, what you would like to do.
If you're looking at the picture Karen has up now,
Yep.
I want all the windows in this entire house, from the front to the back, to be the same. Some have 6 panels over none. The original part of the house has 2 over 2. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Such as shown in this picture on the left-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
I want all the windows to look like that.
And if we would advance one page, Karen, we can see what's there existing.
That's on the academy side.
Okay.
All right, there's 6 panels over 0. And,
Yep, and then-
and I don't want that. I want 2 over 2, the same as the very front of the house. And this is the newer part of the house. That window with the kitchen to the right, where you see the 2 6 panels,
Mm-hmm.
I want that to be the same.
And
Just a style down the middle.
okay. Any comments from the board?
I think I'm a little bit confused to do with the windows. The picture we're looking at right now to the left, not the little kitchen window with the 6. Yes, that one.
The 6
Is
over
that-
1.
Yeah, the one on the left. I think you just had your cursor on it. Yes, yes, that one. Are you saying that you want all the windows looking just like that? Or did you, or not?
No, I want the windows. Do we have a
To look-
picture of the windows in the front? Hold on a minute.
I was also going to suggest we could even look on Google Earth to get a full facade. That
Well,
might be part of our
Here,
confusion.
look at this window right here.
Yes,
I'm trying to see if I can, see how it's two panels
Two
over two
twos?
panels?
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
All right, this is in the front of the house. All the windows upstairs and downstairs are just like this. Okay?
Mhm.
I want all the windows in the whole house to be just like this.
So my question, which I'm trying to find the ability to see, are the proportions of the windows the same from the original part of the house to the new part of the house?
No, because they put a second story on top of the back part of the house.
Right.
Yeah, see, look, this is a good picture.
Oh, there we go. Okay, that helps.
Okay, these are all 2/2.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look in the back over there, that's the addition.
Oh, that's a good picture. Okay.
Those look like 6/1s in the addition? In the
Oh, it
old-
does.
It looks like, I don't know if it, I don't think it, I can't tell. I
mean,
really
6/1
can't tell.
6/1 is a classic pattern for that time period.
I don't want the windows to be different from one section of the house to the other.
So how are these windows in the main house? We'll just go back to the main house. You want them to be looking like what now?
Just like the windows that are in the front of the house. Go back to the other picture.
The old one?
Yep, the old one, please.
Wait a minute, it's not letting me go. There we go.
These are 2/2. There's a stile down the center of them,
Okay.
okay? The ones in the back, they're all mixed matched through the whole back of the house.
Right. But the ones and on the bigger picture of the home, the way it is now, 2/2, that's how you want it to stay?
Through the entire house.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, no, I understand that. I was just trying to make sure that you didn't mean that you wanted to change the way the main house, the windows there.
No, I don't want to change. We love the look of the old windows. We need to modernize them because most of them have cracked.
Right. So
And-
what you want to do is you want to replace them looking exactly the way they do on the older part of the building, the bigger part of the building. And then
Yes.
you also
Yes.
want to continue that look
Yes,
in the back.
yes.
To
And
do with the exact size too, or?
it's real close. I mean, within fractions of inches. That Marvin windows, we had a gentleman here from Chittenangle Lumber measuring and looking and like real close. We're gonna have to take, I don't know if you understand, we're gonna have to take the entire window out. This isn't a
I know.
replacement job.
Yeah.
We have to take the whole frame out and we have to go from the brick right back in again.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the headers are gonna need to be replaced and some of the sills are gonna need to be replaced. So this is not gonna be an easy undertaking. So when we do this, not to mention that all of these walls, not one of them is plumb. So that's another challenge we're faced with.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we have to trick, we kind of have to trick the look of this to make it appear like it's plumb, but there's going to be a lot of special cuts in the wood jambs and frames in order to make this work. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All the window extensions that when we put in, it's just, we'll have the window as made for a 6-inch framing wall, but then we're going to have to put the jamb extensions in or the window extensions in to come out flush with the inside wall so that we can trim.
Mhm.
And none of those walls surrounding the window are plumb.
And what year was the addition put on? I think I read somewhere what it was. But
1910 and 1965.
Oh, it says rear additions in 1935 and 1961 by Gordon Wright Architect. I don't know. That's in our
1935.
file. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be. Actually, Karen, if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen. I have the Google
Sure.
Earth image. And this is, hopefully you'll be able to see the side view. So we can
Okay,
see.
this is a perfect shot. Now,
Yep, that's why I wanted to share it.
I want you to see something. If you look at the windows to the left where the tree is, where the cursor is right now,
Yep,
you see how it's 2/2.
yep.
Okay, look at the next window to the right there, it's 6/6. Look at the windows at the top, they're 0/0. And you look at the windows to the right, there's 6/0.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a mismatch of windows in this house and I want them all to match.
Yeah.
What about the very back part there? Which does the picture show that? And I just have everyone's faces there.
Is that better?
What about the one with the shingles and the one below it? You want those all
We want those to match the entire house.
right?
Even the one up in the attic with the roof is going to match the entire house.
Mm.
But these are casements on this back partition with the shingles right above the arrow.
Here?
Yeah, they're
Yes,
old.
the casement window.
Basement.
Yeah, they're
The rest are
old.
double hung.
Yeah, they're swing out windows.
Mm.
And you would want to replace that with a double hung window?
Not a double hung window, a window that looks identical to a double hung window, has the same style. It won't be a double hung. This particular window will be more of a canopy that will come out like a canopy awning so that the rain doesn't come in when it rains.
So that is different than the rest of the windows that you want, the way that it operates anyway.
Just the way it operates. When you close the window, it'll look like all the other windows.
I think,
These windows go out like this right now from the
right. So,
and the kitchen.
so the mullion configuration of the casement windows, I think, is what Pam is asking. If the others are, 2/2, how would these casements be? Do you follow? If you were to draw, like right now, this is 6x6.
Yeah.
Would that be just the center mullion and be 2x2 with the very elongated glass? Or, that's the confusion.
No, it would be
That's what they're asking.
You see the 6 panels? Delete the 6 panels on either side of that and just hold the style in the center.
Yeah, so it would be, instead of this, the proportions of the lights, I think, is what people are reacting to. Here, it's like a 1 to 2.5 ratio. So if it's 2/2, that's in proportion of the larger window. Where here, the proportion of the window is very different. And you don't have anything over it, you have it beside. So it would be,
Okay, let's just call that the top half of a 2/2 window.
Are you talking about enlarging that window then?
No, we're not going to enlarge the window. We just don't like all the, it's not symmetrically correct with the six on the left, 6 on the right, 6 panels on the left, 6 panels on the right.
So it would
So it
look
would
like,
be that size, but 2/2
It
on
would be
each
that-
side.
It would be that size, but it would look. I gotta
one
have a
here,
picture.
one here, one here, one here. It'd be more square, 4 lights total, that would be square
Yes,
versus
or-
rectangle.
yeah,
It
Right.
would look like this.
Right.
It would
Oh.
only look like that.
Oh, so you don't, it's just 2 panes.
wouldn't have any mullions.
It's just paint. It's just 2 panes.
Oh,
but the two panes would be the same style as the top or bottom of any panes in the rest of
Right,
the
you're
house.
taking like what half of that window would look like in the front. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I guess I was
Yeah,
trying to
that
articulate. And
would
then
make it,
you'd be uniform.
well, my opinion is, because that is an addition, lots of times you don't particularly copy everything that was historically. I mean, if you do it historically correct and everything, I mean, it's up for discussion, but to me, if you're doing that, it's going to look to me like a modern window back there. The 2/2 looks, that is, as far as I can see, historically correct. Are those original windows then to the house?
Yeah, they're pretty original, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And once you do just one pane and then another pane on the other side, in my opinion, it's going to look a little bit modern, but I have to, what does anybody else think about that? Am I off base or what? I'm just trying to think it out. To me, it's pretty quaint the way it is, but it looks like it belongs there to me, but anyone else, what do you think?
That's the 1965 edition?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's barely within the 50 years at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
barely.
To me, I think it's more of a personal preference
Yeah.
because we're really talking about mullion layout. I understand Gordon Wright's idea of making it a little different from the historic because the proportions of the windows were different and there was a
Right.
desire to differentiate the new from the old. But
Mhm.
to me, it wouldn't be offensive to replace those windows with 2/2, even though the proportions are substantially different. Overall proportions are different from the new to the old, but having a single mullion down the center of the top and bottom light, as opposed to a open 6/1. I don't find it offensive. I do question the overall need to replace windows that were probably original to the house. It would be unfortunate. Marvin is a good choice for a replacement window. It's certainly a major undertaking. Difficult call to make. So I'm open to hear any other ideas for the window.
Well, it doesn't seem to me that the windows that he's asking about, if they're going to look identical to the windows that are there, but they just happen to be brand new and, energy efficient and.
Yep. Now, do we have a cut sheet on the Marvin windows?
Yeah, there's a picture of one.
Yeah. So what we're looking at from the photo I see, and I'm going to stop sharing so Karen, you can kind of go back to the submittal. You are talking about grills between the glass, so it wouldn't be a true divided light. It would be a simulated divided light.
That's just for cleaning purposes. Because it's a 2-story building.
Understood. So if you, nope, the other, the application that came with the COA. Yeah, if we go in to like the second to last page.
The images? Or,
Just go to the very end and go
That one.
back one more. One more page.
Yeah, right there, right?
Nope, yeah, that's the middle, but one more page in beyond that.
okay.
Oh, okay. for
There we
the-
go. There, that shows clearly what the intent is for the simulated divided light. So in this case, it would be the top and bottom pane would have a single internal mullion, if I'm understanding this correctly.
Yes,
Okay. Um, Do I understand that what we're looking at here is wood to the interior? Is this going to be aluminum clad to the exterior, or what's the nature of the window, replacement window?
fiberglass. Painted
Oh,
black fiberglass on the outside, which has the appearance of wood. And then wood on the inside.
okay, so it's the integrity line of Marvin.
Elevate.
Oh, elevate, okay. Elevate double hung, okay.
See those windows? I don't know if you can blow that up, Karen, and make it a clear picture. It was very small. But see, that's the clean, that's essentially what we have now that's that's probably 200 years old. This is the modernization look of it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have windows in three in a row like that. They're just single windows.
And my understanding of the federal style is they wanted as large a window light as possible, because in that time period, glass panels weren't quite as large as they are today. So they kind of showed off these large panes. And sometimes you would see larger panes in the front of the house and then the smaller lights in the back of the house, only because of affordability back in the day. Open to any other comments, opinions, questions from the board?
I'm just thinking, how soon did you want to start working on the windows?
It hasn't been determined yet. It all depends on how soon we get done with the roof and other little things that need to be cleaned up and complete one project so we can do the others. My theory is if I have a solid roof, anything that happens under the roof is cake and ice cream.
Yep,
Right.
I totally agree.
Okay, so I need a solid roof, and I need to shed the water correctly so that I can have longevity of paint on the building, windows, doors, you name it, and
Sure.
because of the inclement weather that we have 6 months out of the year.
And Tom, if I could ask, you mentioned earlier the idea of a phased approach. Would it be your intent to replace the windows to the back of the house or to the front of the house first?
Well, the roof is going to be solid in the front of the house, so I'm going to replace the windows in the front of the house first. So in the original Federalist style portion.
Okay.
And you said there might be small changes to the sizes of the openings because the walls aren't plumb? Or is that something that's not going to show?
That's something that's not going to show. You wouldn't be able to see it with your naked eye.
Is there any desire to replace the shutters that were removed?
Well, it's funny you should mention that. There is a desire.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't figured out at which capacity. Every window has storm windows on it. I hate storm windows. That's the other purpose of getting a modern window that can withstand the weather and that the glass is insulated so that we have the R value and the heat values that are current to code. And Tracy and I have been talking about the shutters. I'm not a fan of the louvered shutters, but that's what was on the house for years and years and years and years. But there's something about these shutters that you may or may not know, that these shutters were on hinges, and these shutters had the ability to close. And if you look closely to the house, there's these S hooks or
Yep.
S dials. Those S dials were made to, rotate so that they could shut the shutters in bad weather situations and to protect the glass. So, in doing with the shutters and replacing the windows, I also have to keep in mind that if I want to put those shutters with the hinges up on there, I need to have the proper jambs or wood against the brick so that I can do that.
Understood.
And
So,
the shutters will be in black as well.
okay, so the windows that you want to replace, currently they're in white and you want to replace them in black.
That's correct.
Okay, just so we're clear on that. The trim around the windows would also be black?
No, would be white.
White, okay. Okay, so we're very clear on that. And then the shutters would be in
Black.
black again. Okay, similar to you do have two pair of shutters in the most recent edition from the Google Earth view here. So, actually, what I could do is show that again. Here we go. That was, this shows the existing shutters on the newer windows and the S hooks that are present. You didn't luck out and have the shutters stored in the basement like I did you?
No.
Oh, yeah, I was lucky. However, they took quite a bit of repair.
And when I go to replace the shutters, I'm probably going to use a fiberglass shutter or some kind of similar composite, because I'm not going to use wood where I have to pull these down and paint them every other year.
Yeah, they do make replacement shutters that are low maintenance material, but just as a warning, we've looked at these vinyl make-believe shutters and have basically not allowed that in the district.
No, the vinyl ones are terrible. They crack.
Yeah, they're for newer houses to do a kind of a make-believe recreation of a shutter. Okay, so we're on the same page there.
Yes.
And I certainly would applaud the idea of putting that back and the idea that these windows would be a step toward that reality. Are there any other, it seems like there is some support on providing the newer windows. As much as I hate to see historic windows go away, I understand the need for energy efficiency and stabilization. Are there any other questions regarding the windows? Because that might be something we can move forward with tonight and at least let you get going on a portion of this project.
Did you say that you wanted the window portion, the dividers, they're going to be black, did you say? Or did I hear that wrong?
What dividers are you talking about? The
I'm
I'm
window
just talking
tiles?
about any of the division between the window pane, the mullions, muttons or anything.
The mullions, yeah. I want the mullions to be black, yes.
To be black, and now they're white, obviously.
Yeah. They're white because they've been painted.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, it's wood, so
Yeah.
it would be.
Yeah, but I'd like them to be black to so that you could see that it's pronounced.
Yeah, it definitely will make it look pronounced. I think I'm having a little bit of a hard time picturing what all that would look like on the whole house. Does anyone else?
We have a picture. Tracy's calling up a picture.
Oh, okay. Let me stop sharing here so you can see.
Oh, I gotta find that file again. It's not here.
This house is on Elm Street. Am I still on? Can you see
Yep,
my camera?
sure.
Okay. All right. This house is on Elm Street,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know the house, yeah.
okay?
Hmm.
We spend a lot of evenings and mornings walking and looking at one house after another to see that we look good.
Hmm.
And we like the look of the black. It's pronounced. It will bring, we feel, don't know how the HPC feels, but we feel that it would really identify the ancient and, charm of the house.
Understood.
So with these windows particularly, you're saying it's going to just be maybe a 1/16 of an inch in difference with the panes, with the light. But are they going to protrude out a little bit more or in, or are they going to be just
They can't
flush?
They can't protrude out in the existing frame, otherwise I wouldn't have room to put the shutters, to close the shutters, the hinge shutters. It all
Okay.
has to be the same. In order to restore it to its original, if they protrude out any further, then I wouldn't be able to close the shutters correctly, because when the shutters originally closed, they closed inside the frame.
Okay.
These are a high-end, not a replacement window. They're a new construction window. And like Tom was saying, they're gonna pretty much rebuild the openings, exterior and interior.
Right.
Quite
No,
enough.
I understand that.
So- Quite an undertaking.
So the rough opening is 1.25 inch wood. That is probably 12 inches in width, because the brick is 12 inches deep. That is the outside wall. So
Here's a photo that I took recently when I'm out on one of my strolls. So if this helps to explain what we're looking at.
why don't you blow that photo up and expand it if you can to any one of the windows. All right.
There we go.
Okay.
How about this one?
Yeah, that one's fine. Okay. See the frame, the white frame of the window?
Yes.
Okay. Right now, you're looking at a storm window over that.
Yeah.
You take that storm window off, it's going to give you a greater exposure to the natural window.
Right.
Yeah.
That frame, we're going to take the window out down to that frame and put a new window in. That's what we're doing. And if any part of that frame has been rotted or eaten alive, that frame has to be replaced with like wood and caulked in, sealed in, and connected to the brick with the exact dimensional wood so that the window can fit in. This isn't my first time replacing windows in a house like this.
And so all that window frame will be black.
No, just the frame of the window, the window itself that goes up and down.
The sash.
Yeah, the sash is
Okay, the sash.
black.
Okay, that's
The
it.
sash will
Okay.
be black. The trim will be white. The mullion in the center would be white, would be black.
Okay. All right. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure I'm completely on the same page as you are.
Yep, and the trim is typically referred to as brick molding because it's going up against the brick. So, and that would be caulked and painted typically. So, I understand it. Is everybody else clear on what the proposal would be?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Okay, so I think if there's no further questions, we could probably craft a motion to address the windows for the house.
Craig, you can do also.
What's that?
You can make the motion. Anyone can make the
Sure.
motion.
Okay, let me make the motion to approve the replacement of the windows in the existing house to a Marvin Elevate windows same function as existing with black sashes, black mullions, 2/2 configuration, and white trim or brick mold around the windows. Am I forgetting anything?
I don't know if you want to talk about the shutters at this point. Just saying that if he chooses to replace them, that we'd ask if he would come back to talk about the materials he would be using.
That's down the road. We can talk about that when we get to it.
Sure, sure. But
Okay.
the intent of these.
I'm not even close to that right now.
Well, let me add that the intent of this window replacement would be to allow the future addition of
Of
compatible
shutters.
shutters.
Yes.
You can say that.
Okay. If there's nothing else to the motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? None opposed, so unanimous approval, Tom. You can replace those windows and love to see the transformation. Expect you to return with the shutter proposal and the front door as we, explore that further. Fair enough, Tom?
Sure. I'm going to do a little more research on the front door because I'm looking at a picture that I have in my files and I don't even see the side lights on it for
Yep.
the
Yep,
original.
and feel free if you want to explore my entrance, which is very similar to yours, but I haven't tried to change anything out. And certainly Pam Bender's full replacement of a door and frame that I think was very sympathetic to the initial intent. So two different approaches.
Yeah, Malcolm actually did replace a lot of parts, wood parts. He rebuilt the front door. He'd be more than happy to
Yeah.
give you a tour.
So two different approaches, full replacement, compatible to the original, and then mine is simply stabilization, of what was there. So with that, I thank you, Tom, for the time and the explanation of where you're going. I think this is a great project. I'd love to see the final result. So we're here to help at any point.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks again.
you.
So Karen, we had asked Peter Olson or Larry Cook to be part of our meeting to discuss the project. I'm forgetting the numbers. Is it 250?
Yeah, I don't see that they've signed in yet, so,
Oh, okay.
so
Okay.
I'm guessing he's not gonna be able to join us, but maybe we can, I don't know if you want to set up or give him the opportunity to meet at a special meeting or not.
Well, why don't we just clarify this, because I had warned them that we were going to discuss this.
Okay,
And let me do something.
Does Elizabeth and Richard know that they're on mute?
yes.
Oh, they
Yeah.
just don't want to talk to us. Okay.
No.
No,
Okay.
Pam, most people do because it cuts down on the background noise. It makes
Oh,
it
I'm
easier
sorry.
to-
I see what I know about Zoom. Okay.
I also have a dog who is very uncooperative with Zoom calls, so that's the other reason I hang out.
Oh, okay.
Thank
So-
you, though.
I wanted to show this. I went on one of my evening walks. This is taken from the sidewalk, and you can kind of see they've restored the front facade pretty well. There is the issue of the siding. The siding is not white. It is a different color. Whoops, sorry. There you can see very clearly. This almost looks like the primer color, but I did clarify that is actually a color that is now painted all the way around the house for the siding.
Yes, and you can see the front where the pillars are and above, they painted that white. So it's actually a two-tone Greek revival, which I've never seen before.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Just
a
saying.
interpretation. So, Larry Cook did text me, and I will read this for your consideration. When I brought this up, that we would want to talk about the choice of color. As a reminder, they were in before us in October of 2019, and the expectation was that they were going to return in November to talk about the siding color or colors to be used, and more specifically on what was going to happen with the windows. They haven't been able to, they haven't returned to talk about that. This is what Larry has texted me at 4:26 this afternoon. He says, I went through a bunch of photos and can't seem to find one of the front elevation. Rest assured, we replaced all the windows you can see from the street in kind. They are Marvin window replacements. It was documented on my drawings to replace in kind. The problem is his drawings weren't submitted. We simply examined them because they were still in a preliminary state. Unless, Karen, you do have a copy of the drawings that we had looked at?
I don't know if Mike Jones does as part of the building permit.
Yeah,
I
so I
don't, I
think
don't have them.
there may be some confusion on our chairman of the ZBA thinking that when you submit for a building permit, it automatically comes to our purview. In this case, obviously, it did not, so we did not see the final elevations. And there may be some confusion on Mike Jones's part as to what was approved by the commission and what still needed to be negotiated. So as I see it, there's two items that we probably want to talk about at a future meeting when they are available. One would be this siding color, that it's not white, that it's another color. And I would ask that the members take a good look at it and see if it's something that they would want to see. And I think I may have one more. Yeah, there we go. There's another view. And you can see in the back.
Refresh my memory, did they go with wood cladding or is
I
this
believe
their
this is
final?
wood cladding.
Wood cladding, okay.
Yeah, it's definitely wood cladding. But it is not painted white as was originally. And I would have to look at this window, I believe, and I think Larry had mentioned that it was originally two windows, one that was a multi-light window and the other which was a solid pane. There was the eyebrow, which we agreed could be removed. And what they replaced it with is a single window with mullions at the top in the configuration we see. I'm leaving it open for discussion if this is something we want to explore further with the client and make a final decision on the color.
There's also a major window change they made on the west side. You can't really tell from the picture that you took because there's a bush there, but on the west side,
Yeah.
There, the smaller one right behind the bush, yes, right there. That used to be a full window, and they made it half the size. Maybe for a bathroom, I don't know why, but they changed that out, and I know that we did not, or I don't believe we discussed that.
I don't.
And in my opinion, a Greek revival historically should be one color, and it typically is a very, very off-white. Just a very subtle off-white or white. And I would like to see the tan painted the same as the front, the same white.
Yeah,
I
would
think,
agree with that.
it's not that I'd like to, I think historically, that's historically correct. And that's what needs to be done if we're gonna keep it historically correct.
And not set a precedent that it's okay to make changes without.
Right,
Yeah. Worst case, it is just a paint color and it could be corrected. I do see
Yes.
that they did use the copper flashing and
Yep.
there's a lot of things that have gone well with this.
Yeah, the dormer addition looks nice and subtle, so.
Yep.
I think that my problem with it is because of the two different colors, it makes it look way more modern. It doesn't look like a Greek revival.
Yeah, I drove by there for the first time today and I slowed down and did a double take.
Right, and that's when I first saw it last week. It was like, what, did I just see what I saw? It's
Mhm.
like, no.
So I think the consensus is maybe we need to have this discussion with the client. And if they refuse to show up for our next meeting, maybe this is a possible violation since they didn't seek the color change.
Yes, definitely, I agree. I mean, that's the whole idea of having a commission and
Yeah.
keeping it historically correct.
Okay. Okay. So Karen, if you could craft a memo from the commission requesting their presence at the next meeting,
Okay,
that would, I think, clear things up.
okay,
I understand their previous commitment and the late notice, so I'm not going to fault them for not being here tonight. But certainly we can have this discussion in their presence and try to understand where they were coming from. I think there was probably some confusion over the approval path or who got to say what color was going to be allowed. So with that, moving on, let me stop my share. Next item of business. Elizabeth, I apologize for not giving you a call sooner, but I did receive your correspondence. Would you like to kind of inform the rest of the commission?
Sure. So I have actually moved. I've moved out of Fayetteville and have therefore resigned my commission here on the HPC starting tomorrow. I wanted to be here for this last meeting, largely because I didn't give much notice and didn't want to miss you guys for last time and a chance to say goodbye. I've actually moved over to Cazenovia, so I'm still quite close, but I do want to be able to participate quite locally, and I want to open up the spot for somebody, who is still in Fayetteville or passionate about Fayetteville and Manlius to have the spot. So I chose to get it up knowing that you guys would still welcome me if I decided to stay, but wanting to stay quite local in my commitments and hopefully find a commitment over here that is similar and as enjoyable.
Well, I think I speak for the board in saying that you would be sorely missed to leave.
Thank you.
Per the ordinance, are not required to be a resident of the village to be on the commission. Anybody with an interest in historic preservation is more than qualified to sit on the board. In previous iterations of our ordinance, there were a allocation of different types of members. That's no longer the case. So if you decide that you would like to continue in this capacity, I would be more than happy to see you continue on. Particularly if we're going to continue this Zoom format, it would be just as convenient to Zoom in from Cazenovia than it would be from Fayetteville.
Yeah.
I'm in Manlius. I'm not a Fayetteviller either.
There we
Yeah,
go.
no, I knew that actually. And I did truly consider that. But again, wanting to be participating here in Cazenovia and trying to manage my time, especially knowing that I have missed, unfortunately, probably too many HPC meetings as it is with my work. So yes, I do appreciate that. And I did absolutely look into that and consider it. But want to be a part of my community here now, even though it's pretty close community to the community that I was in. So
Okay.
appreciate
Is
it
that-
though. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Well, congratulations for moving to Kaz. It's a great town.
Thank
It's very quaint, and I can imagine you bought a home. I would imagine that you are going to thoroughly enjoy. So we'll
Thank
miss
you.
you, but
Thank you.
Yeah.
happy trails.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I will
And
miss
come
you
in
guys
once in a
too.
while. Maybe you could just be in the audience.
There you go.
Well,
Yeah. Send me the Zoom links. I'll just
As you know, we do give free advice.
yes. Hey, you never know. I might need it. My home here actually is not as historical at all as the one I had in Fayetteville, which is a little sad because I did love it. And honestly, I'm very sad to have left that home, but we're pleased with what we bought, and we have a little more land to play with, and we're big hobby farmers and stuff. So I'm very excited about that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. In fact, I was building a chicken coop right before this meeting to get everyone
Oh,
transitioned.
nice.
So,
Oh my gosh, now I'm envious.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
So
We have 7 lane
Greg,
pens, so I can give you some advice if you need it.
nice. Yeah, we've had ours for about 3 years. We were allowed to have them in the village,
Yeah, up to 12.
but we could only have a few. So, yeah.
Craig, before we wrap things up, there is someone attending that would, I see their hand is raised and would like to make a comment.
Oh, certainly.
So please go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you very much. This is Marguerite Ross. Thank you for allowing me to speak for a minute. So it's not about anything that you've discussed so far, but I wanted to bring your attention to proposed developments that are moving forward. And especially the most immediate one is the High Bridge Waterside Commons. I have been bird dogging that. It's coming up for public hearing this coming Monday before the Board of Trustees. There's a little piece about it in this week's Eagle Bulletin, some elevations, etc. But what I think the proposed, both that and the 547 East Genesee are totally out of character of our community. And I specifically, because of my background, have been very closely following the environmental review seeker requirements. And my understanding with regard to High Bridge is that there's been no consideration so far of historic resources impacts at all. And I think that's required to be part of before a determination can be made on significance, whether or not the Board of Trustees seems to be heading toward issuing a negative declaration, which is not acceptable by law. If there are any possibility of significant adverse environmental impacts, they may not issue a neg deck. But I'm concerned that they've been rushing through, trying to get through and not addressing. There should be a positive declaration, so that an environmental impact statement, so that all the impacts that are of concern on our community character, as well as the impacts on specifically historic resources. The scale of the project is humongous. There's many reasons why this will have a detrimental, very significant adverse environmental impact as proposed. I hope that in some form or fashion I might be able to coordinate with the HPC or the chair in terms of my testimony coming up on Monday. At least I will be testifying, working very hard to address the issues and the concerns. Since, in these COVID days, it's very hard for different members of the public to follow all these developments. We have so many things going on and so many worries and concerns, and it's tough to be an engaged citizen at this time. By the way, I will commend you all, the commission, for being engaged and keeping on going with the community matters, which are very important to our quality of life. Thank you for that. And I hope that maybe somebody will help in some form or fashion to go on the record about the adverse impacts of this proposed waterside hybrid development. I would say something about the 547 East Genesee supermarket proposal, but currently there's nothing happening imminently. Long story short, what seems to have happened is that the trustees did not like the way that the planning board was conducting the seeker review, and the developer certainly did not like it, and just said put the thing on pause, maybe till after the election. But there's still things that we're trying to accomplish and put on the record before it comes back publicly out in the public. And certainly the historic resources is one of the adverse impacts potential with regard to the supermarket proposal, community character, et cetera, et cetera. So I just want to ask, I guess what I'm trying to ask, I appreciate you letting me make my concerns known to the board, and I'm asking for any collaboration or working together to the common good of our village that members or the commission as a whole might be able and willing to provide. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Marguerite. I appreciate your concern, your activism, and your love of the village. I will say that we have in the past weighed in on planning board items, particularly when they were adjacent to the historic district, or that talked about trying to be sympathetic to the historic resources of the village. We are here and available to make those determinations as we have in the past, even outside of the district. Typically, it was close into the district, only a few buildings away. But in this case, if the developer is making a point of trying to blend into the historic architecture of the village, we would be the resource to review that. And we have not been approached on either of these projects, but you can extend the idea. And if it was of interest to the planning board, we would certainly try to support them in the way they look at it. We look at projects a bit differently than they do, and even differently than the ZBA. So I think we could probably be helpful in their discernment. But if they're simply moving through seeker, it shows that there's probably more work to be done. And, we
Well,
still may be part of it.
I take I take your point. The fact of the matter is that maybe not as a board officially, but maybe as individuals who are concerned about our village, you may want to become engaged. I would very much appreciate if you would. 55-foot high, the high bridge, a 55-foot tall proposed. The developers are not interested in the surroundings, the community fitting in. They're not looking for any advice. They have put forth what they want to do, and the question is whether the village will okay it or not. And as I tried to make clear, the seeker review is critical as part of the development review because the issues of community character, historic resources, impact, etc., will all be addressed thoroughly in an environmental impact statement if the village does, the Board of Trustees does what the law would require it to do, and that's make a positive declaration and have an environmental impact statement prepared before they can get to the merits of whether or not to approve a zone change. It's a very important procedural and substantive step that they're going through right now, and I don't think anybody, certainly the Board of Trustees, will not be asking the HPC. I can't speak for the Board of Trustees. I'm not on them, but I would bet big money they will not solicit and seek your views, your input.
This is just for a zone change right now, Marguerite. That's why there's a lot more to be reviewed down the road, just like Mr. Balamus mentioned. This is the beginning of a lot. There will be other
No, it
opportunities.
isn't. I'm sorry, it is not, because site plan review is not the stage where all these important decisions are made. The zone change is it. It's the whole ball of wax. It's it. It's now or never that proper limitations can be put on what can be developed. I'm sorry, but people have been very, very badly misled on the boards in the village as to, we'll just give a zone change and then we'll work out all the details of site plan. No, that's not possible under the law. It's not. You cannot do that. It must take place prior to approval of a zone change. The important decisions are made then, and if they're not made then, they never will be made properly. Cannot
Thank
be
you,
by
Marguerite.
law.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Marguerite. I appreciate your comments. And certainly we as individuals could attend that meeting, and I will certainly take a look at what's in the Eagle Bulletin. It's important to be knowledgeable of what's happening throughout the village. And I appreciate your advocacy and concern. So, as I said, we have a very narrow scope in what we're able to do. Where we can help, we are more than willing to do so. So I hope things work out for you and for the village. So in the interest of time, I just want to move on. Are there any other items that we have to or need to talk about this evening?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. I will just mention briefly that I know myself and Pam were able to participate in the preservation conference for historic preservation commissions. And there was a number of very interesting webinars as part of that. So I may share some of that if it's possible. They're supposed to send a link for what was put out there. And it was a lot of food for thought and something that we might want to look at as time goes on. But
Did you
I know
both get
this is-
scholarships for it, or do you have a bill?
I
that
did.
you
I
need
did
to
get a
submit?
scholarship for it.
Pam? You're muted,
I'm
Pam.
muted. Turn on the mic.
What do I know? I didn't. I did participate in some of them, but I didn't even see how I was. I know I saw something to do with, do you want architectural, license credit, but I didn't see anything just specifically for an HPC member, so.
Well,
No,
you-
but there's a cost to it. What I'm trying to find out, is there a bill?
No, I never received a bill, even though when I filled it out, I just really wanted to attend, so I filled it out, and they just said they'd bill me later, and there was no place for me to put that I was an HPC member and that seeking a scholarship, as many times as I tried. But no, I will let you know if I receive a bill.
Yeah, they did say when I applied for the scholarship that if you were billed to let them know. So you may
All right,
want.
maybe there's something we can follow up afterwards with them. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to
see-
make sure we have that approved. Okay.
Is this something you want me to do then, Karen? Do you want me to try to reach out to them?
If you would, that would be fabulous, because you have all the information and to let them know you were trying
Okay, I'll
to
look
submit.
through I'll look
Okay.
through my past emails and see what I can find.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Among the things that I learned is that historic preservation on the national level is not paid for out of tax dollars. It's actually $150 million a year that is obtained through oil leases, offshore drilling, which I found kind of interesting. And that's allocated to the 50 states, and then as part of that, 10% of the state allotment needs to be offered to local commissions or CLGs like ourselves. So the money that we had, for example, Jesse Ravage is helping us to do the survey, that's all coming out of that fund that's replenished each year. So you never know what you're going to learn. So I'll share that if it's possible in the future. But I thank everybody who was able to participate in that. Any other things that we need to talk about or put on the agenda for next time? If not, I truly appreciate all of your time and effort. We got out of this in less than 2 hours. I appreciate all the thought and consideration for everything, and especially Elizabeth. I thank you for your service on the board here. I wish you well in Cazenovia, and hope to stay in touch.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. And
Thank you.
thank you so much for our time together. I'm sure I'll be seeing you again,
Yeah.
more than once.
I hope so.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to
for
sign
sure.
off before I start to cry.
Oh, no crying, no crying. I just left my house today. I can't handle anymore.
Oh, my
So,
God.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
So-
but thank you very much.
Yep. And again, Karen, thank you for all of your efforts in the minutes.
Thank you.
We'll look forward to receiving them. So with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I
There we go.
second it if I need to.
Okay, all in favor, say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.